Do you suffer from migraines? You know, the crawl in a closet and close the door and hide kind of migraines. There are solutions. And we have an expert with us today who is going to be talking about migraines, the different types, the triggers, and tips to learn more about them. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to Leilani Houston with Jasmine Pearl Acupuncture. And Leilani, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you. I am Leilani Houston, and I am an acupuncturist herbalist. I also have a background in theta healing, Reiki, and dream interpretation. I got into migraines because of my mother. My mother suffers from several different types of migraines. She has some really weird ones. The ozone changes, when those come around, those affect her. Allergies definitely set off her migraines. Stress sets off her migraines. And she used to have the hormonal type migraines that some of you are very familiar with. I did want to go into a little background on me first. I was a paramedic for 12 years before I got into acupuncture. So that set me up for a really good idea of how things are viewed from the Western world and sort of how to explain things from that mindset place. That being said, let's dive right in. So the types of migraines most of you are familiar with are vascular, structural, and hormonal. Vascular is going to be any sort of vasculature in your brain that's going to set off that migraine. Structural, and this one's actually kind of new. They call it, what was the word for it? Cervicogenic was the word that they were using for that. It's a new term out there, but apparently they're just now figuring out that structural issues in the neck and the shoulders actually cause migraines. And it's ironic because those are the kind that I get. The last one's hormonal. I've actually seen quite a few people with these. Most people will notice that their migraines show up around their period. I do actually occasionally get some of those as well. Okay, so how does acupuncture view these? Well, most migraines that I see out there are what we call Shaoyang headaches. Essentially, these are going to show up in what we call the gallbladder channel or the liver channels. But the gallbladder channel is going to be the one that goes through the head that we're going to see. Essentially, those run through here and through the back of the head here. So a lot of people will complain of the cervicogenic patients usually complain of the headache starting here right in the back of your head, and they will run up through and into the eyeball. The stabbing, boring eye pain or through the head and the temples, these are all Shaoyang headaches. The other type of headache or migraine that we see that can cause migraines is a deficiency migraine. And essentially, this is somebody who suffers from low energy most of the time. And it's going to be an all over, not in one specific spot, it's the whole head. And those are a little more difficult because you kind of have to take away that headache first to get to that part underneath. So a couple of things that I like to have on hand. Let's start with the cervicogenic. Berberine is a really great supplement to have on hand for the cervicogenic headaches. It'll get rid of some of that pounding piece. It's really good for neurological health. The irony is it's also really good for glucose levels and blood pressure. So there's a great supplement to have on hand for that. Ice is definitely a really good one if you're having that cervicogenic headache. Put it right on the back of your head. Take some over-the-counter migraine medicine. My favorite is the off-brand of Excedrin migraine. I know that some over-the-counter medicines and prescription medicines can cause that migraine rebound, but if you catch that migraine right at the beginning, like as that migraine's starting, you're like, uh-oh, here it comes. Take that Excedrin or off-brand Excedrin migraine to get footing on it before it turns into something really bad. The ice is going to help bring down the pounding. It's also going to bring down whatever swelling you might be having going on in the back of your neck because of things being out of place or misaligned. I also personally find that if things are out of place back here, and I haven't gotten in to see the chiro to get all that stuff in line, and it's right before my period, that's actually when my migraines are the worst. So chiropractic is actually something really great to get into your regular routine for cervicogenic, because that's going to put all of your bones back where they're supposed to be. Let's see, ice, medicine, what am I missing? Hydration. We do tend to forget a lot about the fact that we need to be hydrated. Two supplements I really like for that are liquid IV or the noon hydration tablets. These are both the kind that as soon as that liquid hits your stomach, it's like getting an IV without having to get stuck with a needle. You know, who likes needles? Coming from an acupuncturist. And then the last one for cervicogenic I got is chin tucks. I got this one from actually another one of my chiropractor friends. Essentially, you're going to hold your shoulders and your neck in place and then move your head backwards. You want to do this 40 times a day. This is going to help with the cervicogenic, the fact that all the muscles and everything in there are irritated, maybe out of alignment. And this helps bring back some structure into that area. The vascular ones, manage your stress. I know we've all got stress out there, and sometimes we hit that end of our rope. Meditation's really good for that, and some breathing techniques are really good for that. I've got a whole line of breathing techniques that I teach all of my my migraine patients, and there's more than one way to get at that. That all being said, really the best way besides all of these things is just to make sure that you've got a really good self-care routine. Acupuncture is going to put your energy back into balance. So the things that are out of balance, we bring that back into balance. The first goal of that acute migraine for me is to bring that pain level down immediately as much as I can. And then for follow-up and maintenance is to decrease the intensity and decrease the frequency of how often you were having those migraines. Oh, I forgot beet powder. If you get them around your periods, make sure you're getting beets or beet powder into your routine right before your period. 5 days up to before your period and the first couple of days of your period, you can just throw it in a smoothie for your breakfast. What else am I forgetting? Chinese herbal medicine is something that we do in acupuncture that's going to help with that hormonal piece. There are some Chinese herbs in there that are really good for helping bring your pain down as well. Chiropractic, we already kind of talked about. Essentially, their goal is to make sure everything is aligned. Once everything's where it's supposed to be, your blood and your spinal fluid and everything are going to flow the way they're supposed to. And there's a lot of other things about chiropractic that they could tell you a lot more than I could. And then the last one I really like to marry with acupuncture and chiropractic actually is massage. Massage is going to get at the muscles that we can't get to with chiropractic or acupuncture. They're going to work through the knots that just stubborn and sticking in there. And that's just those three together, plus all of the other things, are just going to be a way to make your life less painful, less stressful, and for you to have a lot better days than the bad days. I think that's pretty much everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but if you have questions, please feel free to email me. My email is jasminepearlacu@gmail, or figure out a way through You Define Wellness to get in touch. Otherwise, thank you so much for having me, and this is my tips and tricks.
I love it. It was concise. It was to the point. It was great information to have, and that's exactly what we want. I do have one question for you. You said Burpo?
Berberine.
Berberine. Okay, I'm glad I clarified that. What is berberine?
Berberine it's an herb. You can find it at Natural Grocers, Sprouts, well, that's the same. Whole Paycheck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Awesome.
ironic because the first time I learned about berberine was from a migraine client, and then a year later, my husband's doctor put him on it for high blood pressure.
Oh, well, wonderful. I love it when I hear of a doctor doing holistic stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us, do you have an initial consultation or a special deal that you want to announce here?
Right now, I'm still running with my pandemic prices. So the initial
Already
consult's going
done.
to be $80 and follow-ups are 55.
Mhm.
And then if you want to just talk to me, it's free.
So for acupuncture, you are located in, is it Wheat Ridge, Colorado?
Actually, I've got two locations.
Oh, okay.
3 days a week, I'm in Broomfield, Colorado.
Okay.
And then 1.5 is what I'd like to call it because it's every Tuesday, every other Sunday is down in Littleton.
Okay. Awesome. Good to know. But for the herbal consults, you can work with anyone anywhere pretty
Yes.
much for that.
Yes.
So they can definitely reach out to you because our reach with this video is going to be far. We already know it's international. So we want to make sure people know if, hey, this is the person I want to work with because I've been dealing with these migraines or whatever at things else, because you deal with a lot of different it's not just migraines you work with, that they can reach out to you. And for those watching the video, you can find her, of course, at our website. Go to the Wellness Center and search for Leilani Houston or Jasmine Pearl Acupuncture, and you will find her as well. And that will link you over to any websites and social media that she has. So thank you very much for doing this with us today. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.